right? We also collaborate with community and faith-based initiatives. We are working with our senator and our state representative on both sides to make sure that jobs and opportunities are happening in the city of Saginaw. And then last but not least, what do you mean? What are we doing? We're engaging, advocating, and collaborating. So today, I'm excited about being here. I've got someone very, very special in the room with me today, the one who holds me down, who lifts me up, who prays with me, believes in me. Even when I don't even believe in myself, I call her my ride and live. Not my ride and die, but she's my ride and live. She keeps me going. And because I'm grateful for her, we've been married for 29 years. So I want to just celebrate my wife, Kenyatta Pryor, who is with us on today. Welcome, babe.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be in the studio with my wonderful husband, who works so very hard. But one thing is for sure, he's a man who understands priority and takes care of me and home first. And so I love him because he's such a hard worker, but he works hard at home as well. So just so glad to be with you, Saginaw. So glad to be able to share from our heart, to be able to encourage and inspire and uplift you, because as he said, we are a great people here in the Saginaw community.
Well, thank you so much. You're a great wife, not just a blessing, but you're a builder. And so that's so imperative in regards to all of us working together. I always tell people, whether you're single, married, widow, or divorced, you are important. And so I want you to know that. Today, I want to give you some challenges, some tips of what to do to better yourself. And so today, we're going to just give a few key things that we feel are pertinent over this next hour for us to grow in the city of Saginaw, some things for you to be engaged in, maybe you're not aware of. And so I want to make sure that we are enlightened on what is taking place in this great city. Whether maybe you're a parent, you're a grandparent, there's some things to do in the city of Saginaw this summer. And so we're grateful for all of this. Now, you work in the health industry. So I want to ask you today, in regards to your experience, what are some of the key things as an African-American community we need to do in order to live longer, better, and stronger?
Well, God has blessed me to be in the healthcare industry. I am not a medical doctor, but I am in the healthcare industry. And so information that I'm sharing is just general information. And, if you are experiencing, some health challenges, it's just very, very important to not ignore them and to make sure you have a conversation, with your physician, because the saying holds true: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Wow.
And so oftentimes in our community in particular, and just in general, we ignore, we deny. I do, as a woman of faith, believe in the power of prayer and the power of healing. But I also, know that God has put people in our lives, physicians in our lives, to help us. And so they're not playing the role of God. We know God is, the ultimate person that, is able to cure and heal. But sometimes, it's okay to get help with medication. And so what I just want to share, I've been in the healthcare industry for over 20 years in various areas, whether it's, pain, psychological things, just various areas. But for the last 5 years, I've been in the area of oncology, which it deals with cancers. And so we know that cancer, affects many of us from various types of cancers. And so oftentimes we ignore a lot of those signs and symptoms. And I said that saying to say, that the ounce of prevention is because early detection is one of the things that can help us in our community. If we are diagnosed with cancer, the earlier it can be detected, the better, potentially the outcome. And so it's just really, really important to not ignore, your body talking to you. If you have pains or you feel lumps or something's just not right, it is important, to make sure that you talk to your physician and just do those things. And so there are some,
before you do that, this is so good, because I want to make sure we understand we get oil changes for our car. Why not get checkups for your body, right? And so it is important for us when we see or feel a symptom that we don't deny it, and let's get to the doctor. If you don't have coverage, go to the ER potentially get help and assistance, but do not prolong what you can be saved from. And so it's important to understand that checkups don't show weakness. Okay, checkups of going to the doctor, getting your annual check, they don't show weakness. I want to tell you today, they show wisdom. And so, with us wanting to live longer for the next generation, to pass down good quality of life, we need to make sure. I also want to tell you this, that it is important for us to be disciplined of what we eat. Our man Matthew is here today. He's working out, exercising. God blessed him to lose a great amount of weight. It takes discipline. I want you to put away the chocolate cake that you eat every night, right? Listen, I know you're having dreams at night because it was the pizza that you ate at 11 o'clock and you're trying to figure out, why is pepperoni chasing you? Come on, tell me the truth. All right. It is important for us not to be eating late at night, but to make sure that we take care of our health as a community so that we are better, that we are disciplined, that we are fasting, not only spiritually, but naturally. We should be fasting to make sure that we take care of ourselves. So prevention isn't fear, it's faith in your future. And so if we can understand this as a community, that you can't pour into others from an empty cup. You got to take care of your health. And so with my wife sharing this today, I want her to go through some of the preventative measures, the timings of when you should get some things done, because it is extremely important that we're not ignoring symptoms, because they don't go away by you just thinking that. It just gives them time to grow. So if you're ignoring symptoms, it doesn't make them go away. It only gives them time to grow. Can I get an amen? I know Sunday church is over, but for those of you who are listening, this is critical to the success of our family. So we pass down generational blessings and not generational cycles. Please.
There was someone who spoke at a conference that I was attending, and oftentimes we hear in our community in particular, what goes on in this house stays in this house, and what goes on in this family stays in this family, and oftentimes that carries over when it comes to matters of the health, matters of our health. And so she was just saying, family secrets kills family members.
Wow.
And she said that because she was diagnosed at stage 4, which is, the highest of staging. The next is death. And so stage 4 colon cancer, but come to find out, 2 and 3 people in previous generations had died, from colon cancer. And if she had that wisdom early in her life, she could have been screened much earlier, which would have hopefully, prevented her to almost pass away, because when it was detected and when it was found, it was already stage 4. And so
what you're saying is, in her history, her family history,
she had a certain gene, Lynch syndrome, that oftentimes is a predictor, of colon cancer. And so because her family didn't talk, she didn't know why her grandfather or her, uncle and people in her family had passed away, because it was, not talked about, unfortunately. And so, she didn't learn, that this was a marker or a trace in her bloodline that could have been, tested and detected earlier to make sure that she gets the proper treatment. And so it's just really important, that as family members, we share those things. If you love your loved ones, it's very, very important to be open and honest. It's not a sign of weakness, like you said, hun. It's not a sign, that if I just ignore it, it's just going to go away. Yes, like I said, believe in the power of prayer and healing, but it's very important for us to talk and communicate, especially on matters of our health, and especially when it comes to, the area that I work in, in cancers, because there are a lot of cancers that, you can do early detection. Some are not. Some tumor types, some areas where cancers grow, there's, no testing or screening. But for the areas that there are screenings available, I admonish you, encourage you, to make sure that you take advantage of those tests. One, in particular, you see pink all over the place,
Right.
and we know that that represents breast cancer. And so, and breast cancer can not only just happen in women, but a small percentage happen in men as well. So men, if you check and know that something doesn't feel right, look right, it is important to get, checked out as well. But for breast cancer in particular, women age 40 to 74 are eligible for screening. However, if you have a history of cancer, breast cancer in your family, you potentially would qualify earlier for screenings. Personal story. And so after having my son, one of my milk ducts did not dry up properly. And so my family doctor encouraged me, just for prevention's sake, to get a mammogram because there was a lump. Come to find out, it did go away, but she just didn't like the timing in which it stayed around. And so she said, from this point out, you're 29, you're not 40, but I'm going to still recommend, and I didn't have a family history, but because she advocated for me, she said, I want you to get a mammogram and get a mammogram every year after this. And so I've been getting screenings since I was 29, 30 years old, not because I didn't have a family history, because my doctor advocated for me, just for prevention's sake, to make sure that nothing was, lurking and growing there. And so the age, according to the American Cancer Society, is 40 to 74, but you can get screened earlier. The test is a mammogram, and to get those every year after the age of 40.
Listen, women, it is so important for you to make sure that we're advocating. This is why this program is so important when we talk about making sure that there's proper detection, making sure that you're going to your doctor. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. And so, as the voices of faith transforming the community, this is Pastor Chris Pryor and Kenyatta Pryor. We're here wanting to cheer you on, that you can live longer, so that you can see what's next for your great grandchildren who will be coming. So we know Black Panther, right?
Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman. Him too. All right. We know that unfortunately he passed. And so from colon cancer, this is important for us to get checked out. And I want us to make sure that we're well aware.
And speaking of colon cancer, the screening has actually moved in age. So it was 50, but it's now 45, because we are seeing a larger onset of colon cancer in younger people. Now, there's a lot of theories out there as to why it is taking place at a more rapid rate, for people who are younger. But just know that if you are age 45, it's very important, for you to get a colonoscopy. There are other tests called Cologuard and a FIT test that you can do by just looking at your stool. But if this is the first time that you're getting a colonoscopy, it's recommended, to have a baseline of a actual colonoscopy. But if you don't have access to it, which it shouldn't, be a problem, just talk to your doctor. But doing some type of screening is very, very important.
That's good. Are there any other ones that stand out, for the sake of time, to review?
Just cervical cancer. These are the ones that there are prevention screenings available. So cervical cancer, women age 21 to 65. For women, we know that as a pap smear, looking for colon cancer with or without HPV. And then you can, the frequency of that is every 3 years between the age of 21 and 29, and pap and HPV every 5 years for 30 to 65. So we talked about about colon cancer, and then there's also screening for lung cancer, adults age 50 to 80 with a 20 plus pack year smoking history. You currently smoke or quit within the last 15 years, so there's a screening there. And then that is recommended every year. And for gentlemen, prostate cancer,
Yes.
men age 50 to 69, earlier for African American men or those who have a family
40.
history is 40 for African American men. That's just basically a PSA blood test, and your doctor can share the results with you. But the bottom line is, thankful for the advancement in medical technology, where we're getting more opportunities for screenings, for early diagnosis, because early diagnosis gives you the best opportunity for cure. And so it's just important to make sure that the areas that screenings are available, that you talk to your doctor to make sure that you are getting your screenings. It's very, very important.
So all these things are very important. That's number one that we want to talk about, that sometimes we neglect in our community, and it's important for us to do so. I want you to share one more that's on your heart to be able
I forgot one, skin cancer. And oftentimes as African Americans, sometimes we think because we're melanated that we're not, candidates for melanoma or skin cancer, which we're not. We have a lower incidence because we do have melanin in our skin, but all ages, especially fair-skinned individuals or those with high sun exposure, and so there are lighter African American people. And so it's just important that when you get your exams, that if you have some new moles on your body, or those that are changing shape or texture, or just new moles, it's just important that when you do your physical and annual checkup, that your physician looks at your skin, or you identify new lesions or moles or spots on your body. So skin cancer is another one, and there is prevention with just doing a visual exam.
Well, that's very good. These are things that we as a community want to make sure that we're well aware of, that we're taking care of. Number two, I want to talk to you as families to make sure that our children are actively engaged this summer. There is so much to do in the city of Saginaw that our children need to be involved in the community. They can go to the library. Parents, let's make sure that this summer our children are reading at least 20 minutes a day. Take them to the library. Take them to the park. Get them off Talk and Tick, or Tick and Talk. You know what it is. Get them off Instagram. Make sure that our children are actively engaged. Create quiet moments at home where we shut some things down. Listen, it is so important. Have them, if they love sports, have them read about their favorite athlete. Do something to make sure that we are inspiring them. Here, I'm going to give you a list of things. Take them to Haithco Park. It is practically free. It's a wonderful time for our children to be in a safe environment. You can be on a paddle boat. You can canoe. You can fish. There is a water splash pad.
The beach.
The beach. I mean, it is good. There's good quality living for our children. And so I want to make sure that you take them to these places so that they're able to experience culture. All right. It is important for them to experience a culture. Listen, the first Black member of the Saginaw County Parks and Recreation Commission was named William H. Haithco Sr. He's an African-American man. They named it after him because he's the first Black member of the Saginaw County Parks and Recreation Commission. So we want to get out to the park. He served for 25 years in our community. Many of us, we drive past it on 75 when we're getting off at Tibbawasi, and you see all the people out there having fun and fishing. And so it is important for us to make sure that we actively engage with our children. Reading. Let's take them to the Japanese tea garden. Shame on us if we have not been to the Saginaw Zoo. Listen, I know you don't like pigs, but enjoy the birds. Listen, I know you may not like seeing whatever else is out there, but enjoy the train ride. There is so much that we can do, or the carousel. There are things that we can do to make sure that we expand the mindset of our children this year. And so over the summer, I want you to read with them for 20 minutes every single day. I want you to make sure that they have quiet time at home, that you read together. All righty. It builds their minds. It builds their heart. Do something that they have never done. Go to the Saginaw Museum, Arts Museum. There is a collection of art by Black artists. I see so many of our young people holding cameras today. Let's make sure that they're starting their own businesses and they're getting actively involved. What else, Pastor Chris? There's art in the park. There is the Freedom Schools. There's the Saginaw Public Library summer programs, free books. There's the boat and paddle tours on the Saginaw River. Oh, I'm listening a lot. There's the jazz on Jefferson. Okay, so there's times for us to have live music. You have the Old Town on Hamilton Street. We have new businesses who are stepping out, and ice cream. There's so many different things for our children to do. There's the Sunday picnic and praise. We have the Gospel Fest that is coming in a couple months. There's the Temple Theater. There's the summer movies or youth drama events. Okay, so don't tell me there's nothing to do. Many of these activities are free. You have the YMCA youth camps and teen nights. You have STEM activities at the Mid-Michigan Children's Museum. There's the free nature trails. Go out to Walmart on, not Brockway, but on the other
Bay.
On Bay, and walk around play on the
playscape there.
Play on the playscape.
Mm-hmm.
Just get your children out. You need a break. Let the wind blow through your hair. If you are bald, let the wind touch the top of your scalp. Whatever it takes, just get out and enjoy. It will do you better mentally, physically. Let's get out and exercise. So I want to encourage positive exposure. Let this summer build their future, not break it. Okay. Right. And so it is important that we as a community, many times during the summer, our children regress rather than progress. And so with that, that's why it's imperative for us to continue to move forward and make sure that education, okay, is in the forefront for this summer. For those who are going to summer school, go to summer school. For those who are working, learn, be on time. If you're late, make sure you let them know, call in. These are all the skill sets that we want to implement to make sure, number two, that our children are actively growing. They're in positive activities. They are growing their mind. They are growing their health. They are going to go to the SVRC marketplace, okay? Learn and meet other entrepreneurs and other people who are doing a lot of great things to help our city. Join a seniors group. Go to the YMCA and swim, work out, meet some people. Okay. And so all these things are important for us to do when it comes to making a difference in us. There's nothing to do. Yes, there is. It's because if you get off your phone and you'll see that there are so many great opportunities. Okay. So that is important for us to make sure we're a great city, Saginaw. We're a great people, Saginaw. We are coming back and rising up in certain areas. There's a medical diamond that is coming to Saginaw in the next several years. That's going to bring about a $400+ million investment. You have Hemlock Semiconductor, which is about 10 miles that is hiring. What General Motors was 50 years ago is what Hemlock Semiconductor. Go get it. Go get the jobs. It's only 15 minutes from your house. Go get it. Work. Get paid vacation. Get benefits. Do all that you can to better yourself and to better your life. And I'm not here to tell you it's like General Motors. This is a new day with new technology. So we're making chips that go into our computers. So it is important for us to understand us going together. All right. This is Pastor Chris, Lady Kenyatta Pryor. We'll be right back at you.
You're listening to the Saginaw African American Pastors on KISS 107.1.
McDonald GMC Cadillac. We're bigger. We're better. McDonald GMC. State Street, Saginaw. It's the sizzling summer sales event. Stuck in a lease? Mac the Trade Man will get you released. 0 down, 0 payments until August, or 0% financing on every clearly marked new GMC, Hummer, Cadillac in stock. Just sign and drive at McDonald GMC Cadillac. We are professional grade. On approved credit, not all will qualify. Plus tax, title, license, and 280 title and registration processing fee through GMF. EV Hummer, $27.78 per thousand. Negative equity refinance. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Offers not. Combination expires 7/6/25.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Stormmaster Exteriors wants to take you out to the ball game. Hop on the charter bus in Saginaw and head to Detroit for the last home game of the Tigers regular season, Sunday, September 21st. It's the ultimate Tigers fan experience, and you don't have to worry about the drive. Tickets go on sale June 30th at midnight at RocketGrabPlus.com. Don't miss your chance to ride in style and cheer on the Tigers. Tickets and trip details will be available June 30th at RocketGrabPlus.com.
Did you know they have discrimination in the Bible? Yes, they do. They got white books of the Bible and black books of the Bible. Turn to the white books: Mark, Luke, John, Ruth. Turn to the black books: Zechariah, Nehemiah, Hezekiah, Obadiah, Habakkuk.
Word of Faith International Ministries Laugh Out Loud Comedy Show is back, featuring hosts Mike Larry, Horace H.V. Sanders, Michael McDaniel, and Crystal P. on Sunday, June 29th at 6 p.m. $15 per person. For more information, call 989-752-1675.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Discover the 4th of July sale at Target. Save 20% on clothing and swimwear for women, select cookies with Target Circle, and up to 50% off Sun Squad sporting goods. Get ready for a fireworks-worthy celebration with patriotic cookies, fun sports gear, and of course, spectacular fits. The deal's in July 5th, so hurry and get 20% off apparel, select cookies with Target Circle, and 50% off Sun Squad sports gear, only at Target. Restrictions apply.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why pay full price when you can enjoy amazing deals instead? Score epic deals like half-off ice cream at Fuzzy's Ice Cream Parlor on Court Street for just $5. Or head over to Fashion Square Mall to get a blueberry or strawberry lemonade for just $5 at Detroit Lemon Squeeze. While you're at the mall, stop into Petey's Dugout for an hour of batting cage time, now only $20. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. Visit RocketGrabPlus.com to see all our available deals today.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
And now, back to the Saginaw African American Pastors on KISS 107.1.
Well, this is Pastor Chris. Welcome back to Voices of Faith, Transforming the Community. I want to thank KISS 107.1. We're grateful for all the great messages that we're able to hear. So many great voices. Vicky Hill, Joyce Harvin, Pastor Kareem. I mean, there are so many great voices in our community spreading the good news. And so we are fortunate as Saginaw African American Pastors, better known as SAP, our former pastor who was leading, Pastor Craig Tatum. Now our new leadership is Bishop Hurley Coleman. And so we celebrate him as well. And this opportunity for us to continue to move forward. Number one, we've been talking about key things as a community, African-American community, we must do. Number one, we said take care of our health, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure that we're getting the proper screenings that we need. Number two, we said take care of our children. Vitally important for us this summer to make sure that our children are actively engaged, that we're exposing them to so many different opportunities in our community. Number three that I want to give you this right here. I need you to reinvent yourself. Okay. I need you to reinvent yourself by reinvesting in yourself. In other words, don't be boring. Okay. The sky is the limit for you. Okay. And so this is important for you. You are your greatest asset. I don't care if you're 75 years at this point. Reinvent yourself. All right. Buy a new wig. No, whatever it takes. Listen, do whatever it takes. Come on, laugh with me. Enjoy. It's hot. Listen, it is important for you to reinvest in yourself. Treat yourself like you are your greatest asset, because the best investment you'll ever make is not necessarily totally in the stock market. That's a good one because I'm going to talk about it, but it's in your mindset. And the stronger you are in your mind is the strongest that you'll be. All right. So this is very important.
And I would agree with that. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And sometimes you hear people, say that, it's best to try to accentuate or, make that weakness become your greatest strength. Well, I understand the perspective that they're coming from, but I would, beg to differ that it's important to further accentuate the positives and the strengths in your life, improve on your weaknesses. But oftentimes, your greatest weakness oftentimes won't become your greatest strength, but it is important to recognize those things that, may be a challenge or may not come easy to you. It's not, you shouldn't ignore them, but I think that you should probably invest more time strengthening, those things that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, that you're good at, and continue to grow at those things, to make sure that you're getting your best and full capability out of your strengths. And so, you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to grow. And I think as people, you oftentimes say, if you're not growing, you're dying. So pick up a book. Technology has made it so convenient for us to gain knowledge, to learn about just various things, whether if you prefer to listen, there's so many, podcasts, you can do books, audio books, so if you, don't read, or if you drive a lot, get an audio book. So there are so many things that you can do to enhance yourself, to grow yourself, to gain more knowledge, to get those tidbits of wisdom.
So number 3, I need you to reinvent yourself by reinvesting in yourself. Okay. So growth is expensive. I need you to know that it's going to cost you something, but regret costs more. And so if you don't understand that, this is crucial. Yes, you can. Listen, I grew up
And
in a
it's
school.
important too when you say going to cost you something. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial, but it will cost you time because you will need to put in the time. And so when you hear, cost you something, most people think cha-ching, cha-ching, and it may cost you cha-ching, cha-ching. But more importantly, there are so many free resources that you can grow yourself that doesn't require cha-ching, cha-ching.
And so I want to deal with that based upon you said I grew up reading stories. This is the book my mom and them read to me all the time. It was called The Little Engine That Could. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. Some of you are afraid. Some of you are hesitant. Some of you are procrastinating. No, get up. Come on, even today, get up out of where you're at. Make the choice and decision. Get you a friend that's going to hold you accountable to say, sis, bro, we're getting up out of here. So I want you to reinvest in yourself. Hear me today. Companies are no longer loyal like they used to be. Okay. And so I know the days of the old watch and retirement, those are important. But if you do not invest in yourself, you will miss out. And so don't build someone else's dream while you neglect your own. And so this is critical for the success that you have. I'm here to tell you, jobs are temporary, but your purpose is permanent. And so when you understand the significance of making sure that I got to move today, listen, get on up. Hey, James Brown would say, all right, I want you to get up. I'm serious about this. The sky is the limit. And I want us to build a future for our generation in regards to moving forward. So I want to give you some things to be able to deal with. Okay. There are opportunities, tuition-free pathways. Okay. So you have the Michigan Achievement Scholarship and Michigan Guarantee. Covers close to $5,000 worth of opportunities. You can go on michigan.gov to find out that information. You have what's called the Michigan Reconnect. Very great programs. They are tuition-free college certificates for those who are 25 years and older. So it's important for you to understand if you're going to reinvent yourself, you have to reinvest in yourself. And then it doesn't matter based upon age, you can transform your life. There's another one called Futures of Frontliners. Future of Frontliners, and those are free credentials for essential workers during the pandemic. So it is important for you to invest in yourself to make sure that you're getting all that you need in your life. Okay, so we're going to reinvent ourselves by reinvesting in ourselves, spending time, making sure that we are growing and being better. So that is what's critical. Okay, that I'm building the dream that God has given me. Get up. Let's go. Let's make a difference. Let's impact our community for the better. And so those things are very important. All right, here's number 4 that I want to give you, financial investing. Okay, we need to invest. Building more than wealth, we have to build legacy. And so I want to challenge us as a community in regards to building legacy and making sure that we invest. Okay.
It's just so important. From a financial standpoint. And, oftentimes when people think of investing financially, they think of, stocks, investing in the stock market, which is, very important. But you can start wherever you are. You can start by making sure that loose change goes into a jar. And building up that jar of change. It could be cutting back on something, that, is a splurge. It's
Starbucks.
It's not necessarily a need, but a want. You can start by making sure that you have a savings account.
Yes.
You have a bank account. Even if I don't know if there are companies that still print paper checks. I guess you can request them. But if you have your money direct deposited, you can make sure that a a certain portion goes into your savings and some goes into your checking, and just making sure, even before it goes into your savings and your checking, if your company offers any type of matching, to make sure that, that you are setting aside that money for retirement, because it's going to come faster, than you think. And so just understanding what you're spending and what you're saving. Start with the journal if you have to. Write down everything, that you're spending money on, and it'll shock you. It'll surprise you, how money just, is just slipping to the store here and there. And especially because plastic, using your debit card or your credit card is just so convenient and easy, and if that's too easy and you're spending more money, just maybe, have some cash. Once it's gone, it's gone. And so there are so many resources, and I'm not a financial guru, but, I do know a little bit about money and savings, but, there are so many resources, out there, making sure that you understand what's coming in and going out, and having a budget, and, maximizing having a CD, or if you're not comfortable in the stock market, maybe start off with a CD, which is a certificate of deposit, which basically just guarantees a certain return on your money for a period of time. And so there are so many resources out there from a financial standpoint, but it's worth it, and you're worth it to have accountability of what you're invested in. And I oftentimes say it's not how much you make.
That's right.
Because there are broke rich people, so to speak, meaning that they're living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have anything saved as far as for their future, for their retirement. They're spending so much money on, credit cards and interest and things like that. So it's not how much you make, but it's what you do with what you make. And are you a good steward of that which you make?
I like what you said about putting the journal and write it down. Sometimes we don't realize that we spend haphazardly. And so, if you're always going to McDonald's, pack a lunch. Go from 5 days to 3 days of packing a lunch. You know what you're getting. You know how much salt is put on there or what have you. And so these things are very important if we're going to live long. I want to challenge you to invest in the stock market. I don't want us to be fearful. Many of us have not done so. There's no generational wealth that is being built, because if the economy is increasing at 4% and you put it in your savings account that's making 0.05, you've already lost a lot of money. And there's no way that you can keep up with the economy based upon what we're doing. So we know that eggs and everything else is more expensive. And so if you only put it in your savings account, gone are the days of putting money under your mattress. All right. Now, the only thing under your mattress are dirty socks and dust. And so it is important gone are the days of you putting money and hiding it in your Bible. Listen, let me tell you, the devil got Venmo now. So with that being the case, it is important for you to understand I have to do better. I have to use my money more wisely in order to build generational wealth and to be able to move forward in society. And so, yes, get a piggy bank. Teach your children to go to the bank, talk about deposits and withdrawals. They'll even give you $5 and $10 sometimes when you start. And so these things are extremely important if we're going to make a difference. So I want to encourage you to strongly invest. I want to encourage you to be active and intentional when it comes to saving, because financial literacy is crucial. There's a group called Dave Ramsey. And so you can go through that program. And within the first couple of months, he'll show you ways to save $1,000.
And it's just important, and just to make sure that you take baby steps. And so, we're talking about the stock market, but if you're in thousands of dollars of debt, then you need to make sure that you take care of that debt first, have an emergency fund, and then look at investing in the stock market. I just know that a couple years ago, if you knew where to put your funds, you could, be making 25, 26%, on your investment of interest. And so it may behoove you to talk to a financial advisor. Start at your local bank, and they can help you whatever stage you are. It's just really important to have that financial literacy, and they have programs and there are resources out there, that can help you with your financial literacy. But, shame on us if we're letting years go by where, we could really be capitalizing, and making more on our money simply by knowing where to invest it.
So I need you to read books like I gave you, Dave Ramsey. I need you to know about The Simple Path to Wealth. I'll say it again. The Simple Path to Wealth. These are basic books. When you go to the restroom, you can have a book in your bathroom and make sure you're reading that. Take a few minutes there and make sure you read Money Master, Tony Robbins. Great book. Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. Those are books that are good. I'll say them again. You have the Dave Ramsey, Bigger Pockets. You have J.L. Collins, The Simple Path to Wealth, and then Money Master the Game, Tony Robbins. All these are great books to listen. I don't want you just to listen to music all day long. You got to listen to something that's going to inspire you. So all these things are important for us to make sure that we build for the next generation, okay? So it's imperative. We can do it. We're being stronger. We're being better. We're being wiser. We're investing in education. And so there's so many opportunities for us to understand. Let me tell you, every book that you read, okay, every hour that you learn is critical to the success. It is a seed into your harvest. And so when you understand the importance of me doing this, going after greater education, okay, it's investing in yourself is the greatest difference that you can make in surviving. But girl, I ain't here to survive. I'm here to thrive. And so that is what God has called us for. Listen, we're here transforming lives, moving the future forward. All right. We want to give you another thing that I believe is important for us to do. We've talked about education. We've talked about screening. We talked about reinventing yourself. All righty. We talked about reinventing yourself. We've talked about finances. All right, Lady K, what's the other thing that you want to share with people in regard? We talked about exposure and all those other things. What is one other thing that you feel that is critical that we must do in regards to going forward in life?
What's on my heart is, I have a heart for children. As a mother of two sons, 20 and 16, and I was just going to put a plug in for fishing this summer because my son loves to fish as another activity to do. But, it's so important for us, to model what good looks like for our children.
Nice.
Not to say that we are perfect people, but they need to see the imperfection as well. We need to model when we, have a hard day or, maybe we said something that was harsh, to our child, not being too big to say, you know what, I'm sorry, mama missed it. I shouldn't have, said it that harsh. I apologize. We need to model those behaviors, for our children, because we are the example. It's not just what I do as I say, but it's do as I say and do as I do, because oftentimes they say do as I say and not as I do, but it's do as I say and do as I do, because more is taught by observation and more is taught by, them watching you oftentimes than what you say to them. And so, just from a mother's heart, and, having a soft spot for children, me working with children, at our church. It's just so important to really foster what good looks like to them at their young, impressionable ages. And so we talk about, all the activities for the children to do. A lot of those activities are things that we can do together, mother and child, father and child, mother and father and child, whatever the dynamic of your family situation is, they don't spell love T-I-M. I mean, they do spell love, I should say, with by spelling it like T-I-M-E, is because you can buy them all the wonderful toys and this, that, and the other. but they would push those things aside, to have more time with you or get down and play with them with those toys. And so I just encourage and admonish all the parents out there, especially while the children are off on break. Spend time with them. Show them that you love them by spending that quality time, watching a movie, reading a book, doing so many different activities. So parents, you're doing a wonderful job. I want to encourage you to continue to love on your children.
All right, now it's time to go to break.
You've been listening to the Saginaw African American Pastors on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on the Saginaw African American Pastors by the host, its guests, or call-ins do not necessarily represent the opinion of this station, the staff, its owners, Alpha Media USA, or its advertisers.
Hometown feel and big-time winning. That's Saginaw Eagles Landing, the place where everyone greets you with smile after